Hey, what's up? Today we're going to be making lattachino. It's an Italian word for spinning. Anyway, they look like what you've just seen pictures of, and they are spirals in the glass. We're going to make them with some 9mm clear, and we're going to make them with some 6mm color rod, solid color rod. First we're going to start off by heating up the 9mm. Start at the tip, slowly work your way back. You want to get like 3 to 4 inches, maybe 2 in the beginning might be okay. Slowly get it to where it's molten, but not so hot that it's flipping all over the place, because it will get really floppy, and that ain't good. First I'm going to start off with my green. I'm going to kind of heat up a small area of it too, about the same length. Then I'm going to lay it down on there instead of dragging it across. As it's smooth and soft, it will lay. And that is good. Melt that last little piece off, and then on the exact opposite side, you want to put the other line. If you look through the clear glass, you can see the other line of color on the other side, and it helps you align it. Make sure it's about the same length, and pull it off in the flame. Blue. I think it might be some kind of fumey midnight blue, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Same thing. Lay it on there, in between the two other colors. In the end, you're going to have a plus sign with two colors parallel on opposite sides of each other. On there. You can lay millions of lines on there, a bunch of small thin lines and drag the lines out really thin, or you can make even bigger, thicker ones. But we're just going to do a simple 4-1, 2 colors. I'm going to fill in some of these divots here in between the colors with some clear to help melt it in. A little bit extra weight and material to my finished product. I'll end up with more lattachino cane to work with. These ones I'm just going to kind of just drag the color in, clear in, just to fill that area, the void. I'll go to the opposite side so as to heat the thing evenly. If you go around it, sometimes the other side will get really cold and it will crack on you. So then I'll do those two opposing sides, and then I'll fill in between the other two. The last one here. Overall, it doesn't really matter too much on these lattachinos. They tend to spin out so small you can't see the air bubbles. But if you have a color that's really bubbly, you can encase it with some clear, and that will try and keep that down for you a little bit. Grab my putty here. I'm trying to heat it up back here. Make sure this is all melted in, otherwise it will crack. again and again, and crack and crack. But not if you're careful. Now I'm going to make sure that these are really straight. I'm going to connect them. This putty over here, that's another 6mm putty. Let it hang upside down. Let it cool off for a minute. Adjust your flame. Pendulum. Hang it like a pendulum. Now I'm going to go all the way back to here. I'm going to heat it back. And then I'm going to start spinning on one side, and I'm going to slowly work the material through the flame and spin it out. Heat that up a little bit. Dump the whole thing in and get it nice and even. The rounder the better. You can get it fairly melted in with a little lumps and it still works okay. As long as there's not any giant gaps or anything. It's usually pretty good. I have this nice marble here to flatten it down on, but you can just keep heating it and it will be alright. Let it cool off a little bit. I'm going to go back to the cutting tip now. And now here's where the fun begins. Just keep spinning it. Hold your hands even and shoulders steady. Your hands straight across. Try and work evenly at first. Once you start seeing that it's becoming molten, start spinning it. And once it starts spinning, keep working the material, the solid rod, into the flame and spinning with that hand and pulling out with the other hand. You can spin forwards with the other hand if in later times that makes it easier for you. The main thing is to stay on the peak right between where the lattachino is spinning off and where it is going into the solid rod. And always be just chasing that point back because the left hand is pulling the other side out and constantly making you have to move more and more of the material in to pull it off. And if you do that smooth and evenly and don't stop or freak out, you'll get a really even lattachino. It's actually been a couple of years since I've done these over and over, but we'll see. I'll probably pull it off. It's looking okay. Spin out the last little bit. This part can be hard. You can stop now and spin it out later if you need to. Okay, and now you got yourself a big old piece of cane to work with. I just hold it for a second and I'm going to cut it in half so that it's workable and it doesn't shatter. This stuff is super shatterable. There's all ridges in it. So you want to be really careful with it. Right. And make a lattachino now.